The Galaxy S25 Series is finally here, and, well, it's not necessarily what you think. Listen, I've spent the last month covering all the possible leaks, and it turns out that some of the rumors were true and others were not. I walked into this briefing with some lukewarm expectations and actually left excited for the most part, but that will feel different depending on why you care about this lineup and which of these devices you're keeping an eye on. I'm Jaime Rivera, and let's go through the 5 hits and misses for the Galaxy S25 series. Okay, for a bit of context, this was filmed partly a week before Unpacked and a bit more the day before the event, so if there's a one more thing being announced here, that'll be a story for another video. Our briefing focused entirely on the Galaxy S25 series, which turns out meant a lot of software, but that wasn't the entirety of it. First, let's talk about design, which I'm going to call a major hit, and then a slight miss depending on which device you're looking to buy. The latter is mainly on the base models because, well, this is the third year that they look the same, aside from the darker camera rings and the new colors, which sadly did not come out well in this lighting. I can't really give you any visual differences. That being said, I call it a slight miss because you will notice changes when you hold them. See, they're both a hair shorter and narrower and then almost a millimeter thinner than before. The base model is then 6 grams lighter while the Plus shaved off 7 grams, and this is most evident in the refined weight distribution. As for materials, same Gorilla Glass Victus 2 and Armor aluminum in the build. There are 4 new colors you can choose from through traditional channels: icy blue, navy, mint, silver shadow, and anyone wanting a bit more character should pick the Samsung.com exclusives, which are blue, black, pink, gold, and my favorite, which is coral red. Now, as for the hit, can I just say that this is probably my favorite Ultra. Historically, this lineup started as an unapologetic behemoth of power, which needed to fit in somewhere, so essentials like weight and ergonomics were secondary. Then the Galaxy Note was shelved, so every Ultra after it borrowed from its boxy legacy of trying to look like a notepad, all while still on a massive and heavy footprint. This year, the Ultra went on an insane diet. In numbers, it's only 14 grams of a difference, but the improvements in weight distribution make this phone almost feel hollow, and this is all while rocking a beefier vapor chamber on the inside along with a new approach to its internals. Also, for those of you wondering, this is still titanium on the frame, Gorilla Armor Advanced on the front glass, and then Gorilla Glass Victus 2 on the back. It's also slightly shorter, narrower, and thinner, which, matched by the new contoured edges, does feel like an entirely different phone. Also, since the bezels got a lot thinner, this means you get a slightly larger 6.9-inch display on an even smaller footprint. Heck, even the S Pen silo is contoured, so there goes the possibility of using older ones, as, yes, the Bluetooth functionality for Air Command is now gone. Apparently, only a tiny single-digit fraction of users cared about it, and, well, that included me on the list. Still, the reason I praise this particular design is because it almost honors the recognizable motif of the past, but packaged in a completely new body, one that I feel will be easier to manage in the day-to-day. This might not be as ultra as a lot of the competitors out there right now, but at least it no longer feels like a tank, so I'm all for that. Color options include Titan Black, Titan Gray, Titan Silver Blue, and Titan White Silver, which were all pretty conservative. If you want to go bold, Samsung's exclusive colors include Titanium Pink Gold, Titanium Jet Black, and my favorite, Titanium Jade Green. Second, let's talk about internals, which for me is another major hit. All 3 phones are powered by the custom-built Snapdragon 8 Elite for Galaxy. At peak speeds of an insane 4.47 GHz, this is technically the world's fastest CPU right now. All 3 models now get 12 gigs of RAM, so that fixes my complaints on the base model. Storage then ranges from 128 gigs to 256 on the base, 256 to 512 on the Plus, 256 to 1 terabyte on the Ultra. Batteries and their technology remain the same, and then charging speeds as well. Qi 2 support is here, but pretty much optional, as you need a magnetic case just like you do with OnePlus. And then connectivity and the IP rating are all pretty much the same. So sure, they might not be the most opulent phones when it comes to RAM or storage options, but to have the fastest chip already has me pretty excited. Third, let's talk cameras. And, well, on the base models, you're pretty much talking about the same specs. So I'm going to call this a miss, particularly at the leagues at which the Plus plays when it comes to pricing. This combo sets it way behind competitors that are already making it look dated. We're already talking periscopic zoom range on the small iPhone 16 Pro, Pixel 9 Pro, and OnePlus 13. Surely, none of these retain the sleek footprint these camera rings bring to the Galaxy, so you'll have to pick between looks and wobbling on a table or capabilities for that money. The hit starts with the base model. At its price range, this is pretty much the only phone that offers 3 cameras on the back, and with a telephoto that offers more detail than the usual digital crop you get from the others. And then the hit continues with the Ultra because we did get some updates in the optics. The primary and telephoto remain the same, but then the ultra-wide gets a boost to 50 megapixels, which means a few things. 1 is obviously better detail during the day, 2 is better low light performance, and then 3 is that we get better macro photography. And sure, I know this phone lags behind other ultras in capabilities, but the camera rings bring such a minimal footprint on this phone that you at least get the choice between a massive donut hump on those phones or minimal with this one. We also heard of a new Pro Visual engine in addition to 10-bit HDR video, now enabled by default, and also log video recording, finally making it here. And then also the audio eraser on video is insane because you can choose to erase whatever you want, whether that's your voice or the noise behind you. So you can actually take advantage of so many different options on one video. Fourth, let's talk about software, because to me this is another hit. I think by now it's clear that the theme here is for the phone to be secondary to the experience, and Samsung has some bold claims. See, most companies are trying to sell you a new phone because of its AI capabilities, but most of these companies are making a very confusing approach. Gemini is one thing, ChatGPT is another, and then every app has its own thing, and neither of these can really interact with the phone itself. What Samsung wants to do is to make One UI 7 a sort of agent that can pick the right tool for what you need, and actually they're just calling it AI Agent. There's no special name, and when you press and hold the power button, it'll take your request and then choose the best service to solve it for you. So for example, Bixby is still here, but that handles device controls. The UI then looks like Gemini, which will do most of the heavy lifting when it comes to the internet, but it's proof that it'll pick which is best. And we even heard that ChatGPT will be in the mix, but we're still waiting on confirmation on that. Point is, think of One UI 7, at least for these phones, as an integrated AI platform that can be personalized and which they claim as secured by Samsung Knox. If the goal is to reduce the clutter and jumping into applications to get anything, listen, I am all for it. Some examples were shown in how you can use natural language to search for photo, for example, and be specific about what was in the photo or where, and you get a quick response with a filter with what you need. Writing Assistant is now more integrated, so after you select text, just press and hold, look for the stars on the left, and it'll create a summary for you along with other options, though it does seem it can't tailor these to anything other than what the phone gives you, at least for now. And then other essentials like Generative Editor making a comeback in the photo gallery to let you remove the photo bombers better than before, and you can even modify photos to remove anything you want by just circling on it. Then there was more of a look into the Now bar and its capabilities from the lock screen, and then how the Now brief consolidates things you should care about in your day on a single widget. One of my favorites was also AI Select, where you can easily select any video you're watching and create a GIF out of it, and this is just one example of the many things it can do, and also proof that the side menus aren't going anywhere. That rumor was wrong. Then there's the obvious Draw Assistant, since yes, you have an S Pen on the Ultra, though I gotta say that this is something most phones can do right now. I also got to try their Portrait Studio, but it seems to be a bit of a miss for me, as the results look nothing like me, though Josh does look great on this. Oh well. Last but not least, we got to see the updates to Circle to Search, as it's now more granular, giving you more information and not just options for where to buy something that your friend was wearing. Fifth, let's talk price, because to me this is another miss. Now, the rumors were wrong, at least in the United States, as the prices remain the same across the board. The thing is, the only number I agree with as fair is the $799 on the base Galaxy S25. It offers compelling features and competitive advantages at its level. Sadly, the plus at $999 is a stretch. I can't think of any phone that's inferior to this device for that amount, and then you have cases like the OnePlus 13 that just blow it out of the water at almost everything, at least on paper. Now, the Ultra is then where I'm most mixed. Surely in the United States it offers a lot more than most phones, but is it really that much better than the Pixel 9 Pro XL for $300 more, or $500 more for the OnePlus 13? Stay tuned for those comparisons, because they're going to be coming very soon. To conclude, yes, we got new Galaxies with familiar faces, but significant internal overhauls. We get a new software suite of services that intends to end the confusion and apathy that many have with AI. We get slight updates in the cameras, and then price points that are a bit controversial in my opinion. My first impressions are that I love the Ultra and the base model so far, but that Plus variant is probably the toughest sell. I'm excited to try the new photography engine, the new approach to AI, and the world's fastest chip. I'm really hoping that the overall execution is as good as they claim, and also, there's no word on when these features will trickle down to legacy devices, so this might just be the quickest way to get them if you do like them. Pre-orders begin today, and I'll have some links in the description in case you're interested. And yes, these are affiliate links that help support the channel at no additional cost to you. Let me know what you think about these phones in the comments down below. Do you agree with my assessment? Do you disagree? Chime in the comments. And while you're at it, subscribe to this channel, and a like would also be highly appreciated. Also, follow me on social media, as that also supports what I'm doing as well. I'm Jaime Rivera. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one.